Good evening, Konkona. Good evening. Let me see whether it's in the net or not. No. Good evening. Yes. Yes. Good evening. Let me reduce the volume. Good evening to all. Now I will talk on two specific questions. Why India, this truncated India after partition, was taken to Commonwealth? Why? Who are the planners? And even after partition and transfer of power, why Mountbatten as the first Governor General of India? These two specific questions. One thing, let me be very clear. Yes, very clear. First, very rapidly I will go into the sequence of events. Remember, after the Red Fort trial, the drama was being enacted very fast, very fast. Events came one after another very fast, very fast, very fast. You think of, Somosati, Konkona, think of the events. 5th November 1945, Red Fort trial of the INA soldiers started. And the whole of the country, length and breadth, came to know the history of INA and their sacrifice. And the enthusiasm, the nationalist enthusiasm, the heat, reached a peak. The British historians has written that enthusiasm, that excitement came to such a peak. British India has never witnessed that. Never. Not even during the Sipai mutiny. And the newly selected Congress A.K. Azad gave a call for INA Day all over the country. And then Muslim League, they also gave a call of Rashid Ali Divas. That is, Rashid Ali was also an INA soldier. That means, irrespective of political parties, religions, and geographical regions, there was excitement. And what next? What do we see? Then in 46 early part, we saw naval mutiny. Naval mutiny from mainly in the western coast, also eastern coast, also in the away among our British India soldiers in the Singapore Sea, everywhere, including Karachi and Singapore and all eastern and western coast, the naval mutiny. Then came the revolt, unrest in the Royal Air Force. Remember, British administration was standing on three pillars. Number one, faith of the common people of India on the superiority of the Britishers. That is long back crust. Second is the administration, iron frame administration. The frame of administration ruling the Indians by the Indians. That frame is weakened. Only pillar with which they are controlling the Indian colony and also whole of the British Empire is the British Indian Army. There is the unrest. And how will they stay in India? If they stay more, there will be possibilities. Number one, the leadership of the Indian politics will go to the hand of the more dynamic person. They are smelling, they are indicating the ghost. And they have already got the report that Bose is preparing the INA in Russia in a fashion, in a way how he did it in Southeast Asia to form that INA. They are forming another INA in the soil of the USSR. If he comes, attack northwest India and enter here, how they will tackle the situation? Before the ghost coming into the scene, prepared, let the situation be settled. Let the situation be settled and hand over the power to the power-hungry persons. Now, you see, on 24th March, under this situation, the cabinet mission came to India, offering transfer of power. Can you imagine? On 24th March 1946, March, here the cabinet mission has come with an offer of transfer of power. And on the different side, Nehru is taken to Singapore and Malay for negotiations, for talks. Nehru is taken there. In the background, the royal family. Here, the Viceroy Wavell. There, the Mountbatten. All these brains chalked a plan to take Nehru to Malaysia, Singapore. There, everything was being prepared. How the Nehru will be primed for subsequent steps the British will take in India before transfer of power. Nehru is primed. I have talked on this. There are three things happened. Nehru was told very clearly they have not written the death certificate of Netaji Subhash Chandra. They have not written. Number two, sharing of the INA wealth and personal understanding between Nehru and Mountbatten and Nehru and Edwina. The special relations was developed. This background was created. Here came the cabinet mission. The cabinet mission, moving in different parts of the country and meeting all political party representatives, gave their verdict. What was the verdict? They will hand over power, that country will be undivided India to a government at the center with three main powers, and other powers will be federated to states, and states will be divided into three groups. One is A group is composed of Hindu majority groups, Hindu majority states, and B will be the Muslim majority states. C will be composed of Punjab and Bengal, where Hindu, Muslim and non-Muslim almost equal. In this plan, they will hand over power. And more or less, Jinnah accepted that. But what happened? Who is the first man to violate this? Congress accepted cabinet mission plan. Jinnah accepted. But who violated it? Yes. On 10 July 1946, Nehru made a press statement. In the press statement, he is told that whatever the cabinet mission has told, let it be there. But we will run the country by majority. And that irritated Jinnah. That gave Jinnah a scoff. And Jinnah reacted very sharply. Now you are talking for consensus politics, and on the other side you are telling majority politics. That means will be subjugated. Then in reaction he gave the direct action. Practically Somoshati, Mr. Subir Kumar, Nehru gave the weapon to the hand of Jinnah. Nehru gave the weapon to the Jinnah. And many historians has clearly written, Nehru's speech, press meet was very irresponsible, very costly for the whole of the country, very costly, very dangerous for politics, very dangerous press statement, very poisonous, and that stabbed the whole process of transferring the power to the United India, that crushed all hopes of United India. And that's why I tell you, Nehru is more dangerous than Jinnah. He crushed all hopes of transfer of power to the United Government of United India. And then naturally, two-nation theory, the popularity of two-nation theory increased. And both sides, on the Hindu sides who were not wanting any partition, and the Muslim side also, those who are not wanting partition, now they are telling enough is enough. Now the ground for partition is created. Now came Nehru's favorite man, the Mountbatten came. When Mountbatten came is a royal family member. He came with clear plans. Problem of India is a political problem, but Mountbatten gave a military solution. He is a military man. And remember, Mountbatten was not inclined to come to India as the Viceroy of India. His aspiration was to remain in the Royal Navy and to be promoted to the higher post, and then to acquire the highest post in the Navy, that is the highest post in the Royal Navy, which was at one time his father was serving. The post is Sea Lord. Sea Lord is the highest post in the Royal British Navy, Sea Lord. But he was persuaded to come to India, and the instruction was that, and because Mount was very apprehensive how he will be able to solve Indian problems. Before that, Wavell and other viceroys was much more senior in their career, and in army they are in much higher positions, much mature diplomats. They failed. Then Mountbatten got apprehension that he will also fail. And then the royal family gave him hope that you have got a beautiful wife and you are given extra power as viceroy. Extra power. Remember, two words, let me clarify now. One is Governor General, other is Viceroy. Governor General is a post. It is under whom all governors of the states in India works. That is Governor General. And this post is created from the time of East India Company. And that post continued. The post of Governor General, under which all governors of the states works. পরে কথা বলবো রে। Under whom all governors of states works. And naturally during the East India Company up to 1915, when the capital of British India was transferred from Calcutta to Delhi, up to that time the headquarters of the Governor General was in Calcutta, which is today's Govornor House. And when after the Sipahi mutiny took place, after that the Queen took over the rule of in British India. And after that, it is the Emperor's representative who is appointed as Viceroy. Viceroy is a post who is the Emperor's representative. And naturally, subsequently, the same man is acting as Governor General and Viceroy. Am I clear? Then, this man came as Viceroy. And already I have told you and with the mission that he will divide India and hand over power so that the power balance in South Asia is in the interest of the British Empire. So that no country will be strong under India will not be a challenge. Or if a divided India, if under India is handed over, he must be in that way weakened that India will never be very strong to challenge British Empire. That mechanism. If divided, naturally weakened. If not divided, this will be power will be handed over to such persons and to such dispensation that will remain weak all alone, so that the control of British will remain in South Asia and the economic interest is maintained. Plus another thing, and for that, under India or divided India, India and Pakistan both should be kept under Commonwealth. If not under the Commonwealth, British interest will not be served. More important is, under British Commonwealth, there is other Asian countries, specific region countries like New Zealand, Australia. These countries are under the British Commonwealth. They are Governor Generals under the British throne. If India goes out of hand, then the control of the British Navy in the Indian Ocean area will vanish, and then transoceanic connections with the UK, with the other Asian countries under Commonwealth, and particularly distant area of New Zealand and Australia will be disrupted. For that interest, Auchin Lake, the army chief, British Indian Army Chief Auchin Lake, has written many letters to high officers, particularly viceroys in India, also to the British government. You will see all those letters to the Transfer of Power, volume 12. And his proposal from before 45, you will see preparation for keeping the Indian soil, either one united country or two countries or multiple countries, all under British Commonwealth, so that they will remain weak and their economy will be maintained, all their factories, all trades, everything will be maintained, plus their control in the Indian Ocean will be maintained, so that their navy can move through Indian Ocean from South Atlantic to Pacific region through Indian Ocean. They want that guarantee. Plus, if not, this part after transfer under their control, any time these parts of land may go under the influence of the communist USSR. Russophobia. They are always anticipating some attack from the northwest. if you look into the transfer of power volumes and other volumes, you will see they are apprehensive of some attack from northwest, particularly by USSR. And when they are creating Pakistan, they are planning the projects of roadways and airports in Pakistan so that in crisis the British force and British American force can help Pakistan. And they are the compulsions. Moreover, another thing is their oil diplomacy. Remember, the last century, first decade, is the decade of discovery of the oil mines in the Gulf area. And owners of majority of the oil mines are Britishers. Then came the other countries. And if sometime the Arab countries and the Gulf countries become hostile to the British interest, then how they will tackle that situation? If they get a soil in Pakistan or in India, or the army base, they can tackle that situation. They can tackle that hostile Gulf countries. There are the different regions and their compulsions, and ultimately that point also to counter the ghost. If ghost comes, the countermeasures. Now I am going to the this who are the brain originally but I am coming to few points I am telling you. 3rd June, 1947, there is proposal of immediate transfer of power, and at that bill, that the transfer of power bill in the British Parliament, and date of transfer of power was June 1948. But when it was being crystallized to the act of transfer of power, that is Indian Independence Act, in July 18, here they proposed to transfer before 15th August 1947, that they preponed the date by about 11 months, because they are hurrying, they are very quickly trying to transfer power. However, initially, at one time, when the division became inevitable, at one time, the possibilities were of 3 countries: one Hindustan, one Pakistan, other is Bangalistan, because the many people wanted not the partition of Bengal. They wanted to keep Bengal undivided. I have discussed it. That will be as Bangalistan. That is 2 or 3 countries: Bangalistan, Hindustan, and Pakistan. The terms used in the British literature, in their documents. That possibility came. But I have discussed you, Mountbatten at one time wanted Bangalistan, but then discarded this. Both Nehru and Mount discarded this. This was wanted by Suraburdi and Jinnah. And unfortunately, at one time it was being supported by Sharad Bose and Kiran Shankar Rai. But it is opposed strongly from beginning by Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. And subsequently Nehru and Mountbatten also opposed for different regions. Bangalistan. Bengal was divided. Anyway, Pakistan and Hindustan is created. And the main purpose, main activity of Mount was to keep both the countries under Commonwealth. Pakistan and Hindustan. How? How he articulated. And you see the tactics of Mountbatten and his team. First, he created a fear in the minds of Jinnah and his team. Was successful in creating a fear in the minds of Jinnah and his team that Pakistan is a small country. And remember, there is always a chance of your country being attacked by the Hindu majority country. Also, you have got a chance of being attacked from the northwest by USSR. They are communist, they are expansionist. They have already come up to Kashmir. USSR boundary has come up to Kashmir. Huge boundary, escalated. They are expanding. At any time you can be attacked from the east and from the northwest. We are giving you protection. How? You come to my Commonwealth. Yes, it is Jinnah first agreed to be under Commonwealth. Good. The moment Mountbatten got Jinnah in the fold, he told Nehru and others, you see, Pakistan is in Commonwealth. Pakistan in Commonwealth. Pakistan in Commonwealth means Pakistan is protected. But you see, your Indian army is not strong. My British officers will go. And you are weak. You are weak. Already Pakistan is in protected by me. Then you are unprotected. Shubir, can you understand the logic, the tactics? Somushatik? And Nehru got puzzled. And all political leaders got puzzled. Because they know no political leader of this India side do not know how to use army. They do not know the defense policy. The army maneuvers. None knows the defense. None has got the knowledge of defense, of army. They are confessing. And they are begging, and also by this time, Mountbatten is using the high army officers of Indian origin in the British Indian Army, like Subrata Mukherjee of the Royal Air Force, and also some other persons in the land forces. They are giving statement that if the British high officers go, an Indian army after partition will be weak. And under these statements, Nehru is more frightened. Always in his mind there is a ghost. Ghost is threatening him. Who will protect him? Who will protect him? And then he agreed. He agreed to Commonwealth. But one thing, still up to that time, Nehru and other leaders like Patel was not sure that Gandhi will agree. But what Mountbatten is telling, first you accept my proposal, but I will not tell it myself. I will not tell myself in the open that I want to be the Governor General. Next step. And in that way, if Gandhi do not agree, I will convince. It is my duty to convince Gandhi on this issue. You see how much confident Mountbatten is to manipulate Gandhi. This is one chapter. Now, and what? This is the situation. In this situation, both the countries, Pakistan and India, the both sets of leaders now has agreed to be under Commonwealth. Then what happens? Then, as per the Act, there will be a common Governor General for both Pakistan and Hindustan. And as per the Act, it is Mountbatten who will be the common Governor General of both the countries, both the dominions, and he will be the chief of the joint army. That's the proposal in the Act. Now, you see. But after that, what? The one by one, the high British officers will go. Inevitable. The moment power is transferred to dominions, no high officer will be interested to stay here. They will go. Nehru is frightened. Nehru want to keep the high officers, the all army chiefs here in India. Then Mountbatten argued, why they will stay here? When you are the Prime Minister, Cabinet Minister, Defence Minister, why they will work under you? Only if I remain as the chief, at the head, constitutional head, they may agree to stay here. Somashati, here is the argument. And how the high British officers in the posts of chiefs in the armies was persuaded to stay with that argument that Mountbatten will remain here. And in absence of Mountbatten, they will go. And this fear of the ghost, fear that Nehru do not know the defense techniques, the army maneuvers, how to manage army, how to run army, that created a situation compulsion for Nehru's to adopt Mountbatten as the Governor General. And you see, and Mountbatten told Nehru's that he will not express in the open his desire to remain as Governor General. Nehru has to offer in the open this proposal of requesting him to stay here as Governor General. And Nehru gave that open offer. Then what happened? A crisis came. What the crisis? The moment the declaration of partition, the Independence Act was declared and partition date was fixed, transfer of power date fixed, everything, Jinnah made a volte-face. He told that the Pakistan will not tolerate a foreigner, a white man, as head of their state. They want to see me, Jinnah, Qaid-e-Azam Jinnah, as their chief. I want to be the first Governor General of Pakistan. That shocked Mountbatten. And Mountbatten, in his discussion with the Emperor and their British cabinet, he agreed to stay in India as Governor General only if both the countries accept him as Governor General. If anyone disagreed to accept him as Governor General, he will not stay. That is his first statement. Because this is an insult that he is Governor General of only one country, not of the other. He wanted to be the Governor General of both the countries. That pushed, the statement of Jinnah pushed Mountbatten into crisis. And he wanted to leave this country, Delhi, to go to his naval career, and in the Royal Navy career. But this time, the Royal Family Cabinet saw the crisis. They persuaded again Mountbatten, stay. Because to stay in India as Governor General, though not of Pakistan, is also a compulsion of British Empire, British government, also a compulsion of Nehru, because common threat is the ghost. And you see, subsequently, after few months, Kashmir crisis, you see, in Kashmir crisis, Mountbatten is acting as the supreme leader of the whole cabinet. Though legally and constitutionally, as Governor General of India, honorary post, has no executive power, has no moral right to have any decision to be given to the cabinet. It's an honorary post. But you see, during that crisis, he is the supreme leader of the whole cabinet. He was the chairman of the defense committee's discussions. This is the tragedy. This is the compulsion. In the mutual compulsions of both sides, Mountbatten stayed here as Governor General. And for a period, in that period, the NEHRU was not the elected Prime Minister of India, was selected by British and Gandhi. NEHRU was not a choice of the people. NEHRU was not the choice of the Congress, state Congress committees of the 15 state Congress committees of the country. It was the choice of Gandhi and British. And crisis was over and Nehru was made settled in position. Then Mountbatten went. And Mountbatten's position here gave a security to Nehru and also security to the British interest in India. And I'll see, I hope I've been able to, in a simple way, and these stories were not very clear up to I think late 70s. This behind the curtain maneuvers and these dramas, and after late 70s, from 80s onwards up to 2010, many volumes has come from scholars from this country and scholars of America and UK on the transfer of power and partition. Many volumes has come, and many volumes has dealt with the archival documents. From those documents, these intricacies, complex dramas and treacheries, tactics, they're coming out. I have discussed with you why India is under Commonwealth. Yes, I am quoting a language. Indian political leaders has no knowledge about how to run army and no knowledge about defense matters. এটা কারা বলছেন? বলছে সুব্রত মুখার্জি, রয়্যাল এয়ারফোর্সের হাই অফিসার, পরবর্তীকালে এয়ার চিফ Chadulal Tripedi, who was the deputy of the Mountbatten in Singapore, who subsequently became the governor of Odisha in that time of crisis. He is giving a press statement. Indian political leaders has no knowledge how to run army and no knowledge about defense matters. And I have told you, and it was planned Mountbatten as head of the Central Defense Council for both Pakistan and India. It was the original proposal. But in the meantime, Jinnah changed his mind. Jinnah became very rigid and stick to his own decision. His argument is, the Pak people will not tolerate a white man, a foreigner, to be the first Governor General of Pakistan. They wanted to see me, the Jinnah, as the Governor General. Jinnah Mountbatten tried repeatedly to stop Jinnah to be the first Governor General. Mountbatten's argument was, the moment you are a Governor General, you will have no power, no executive power. Liaquat Ali will, as the Prime Minister, will enjoy the maximum power. You are just the honorary head. But even on that argument could not stop Jinnah. And Somashati, your question is, when will come out from the Commonwealth? Yes, Commonwealth is a body. It is not a democratic body. In a democratic body, the chairman, post of chairman is elected. But here is no scope of election. Always the monarch of UK is at the center as chairman of the whole Commonwealth body. It's not a democratic body, no doubt. But how India will come out? It depends on, I have explained you, the more UK will be weaker. Already in Europe, it is a second grade country. Military, economically this is weakened. Militarily this is weakening. It's really its power, is ability to control the Commonwealth is diminished. It is a time factor. It will collapse one day. And other thing, the UK itself is going to break down. UK is composed of four lands: England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. It's 4 lands. A part of the Ireland is already free. Anyway, these one by one, the segments of UK will go. The UK will cease to exist. The nucleus will break. Or even if India in its orbit gets so much strength that it may come out from the orbit by its own force. Anyway, time will tell, history have its own course. We are not very much afraid about the Commonwealth. We are not much afraid about the domination by the UK now. And you see, an Indian origin person is the chief of the England as Prime Minister. A Pakistan origin person is dominant in Scotland. Anyway, UK is losing its economical power, military power. This will be a history in one day. India is gaining power, definitely gaining power. This gloomy picture that we are member of the Commonwealth, this will vanish. We'll be very much free of all these gloomy pictures. We need not be very much worried about it. Our concentration should be strengthen our military position, our economic position, and our cultural side to be projected all over the globe. And one thing, and we have to balance in between. If we come out from the Commonwealth, what is our gain? If we stay in the Commonwealth, what is our gain? We have to balance in between. So much international bodies, UNO is a body, Commonwealth is a body, so many international bodies, NATO, CRTO, so many bodies are there. But actually these bodies are not very much binding on the activities of the countries, on the nations. These are strategic things. And diplomats will tell, let them think Let the statesmen and diplomats think over it. What should be our look to this status, our status as Commonwealth member. And today definitely our image all over the world and also our image as Indian in the eyes of a UK person has definitely improved. Is there any question? Let me stop here today. And